I mean, carrying on with the idea of gore, if you notice, I would say in comparison to a lot of Romero's other movies, there aren't that many gore shots. But, well, there are, but they seem nastier. They seem to have more punch. It goes on with the idea that Romero really went for what he wanted. I mean, again, it says on the interview on the DVD that he says that the real trolls, the real hardcore fans are the ones that love Day of the Dead, which I think speaks volumes for us.
The thing is, though, most people that I ask, my friends, like yourself and DVD Weasel as well, Day's our favourite.
Yeah, Day is the one. But it's just got such... The gore scenes are right. I mean, there's the famous chalk on him sequence. There's such an undercurrent of pain and just gore, and it's really, you watch and go, it's great because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
That's what you want from a horror film. When's the last time you watched a horror film and it made you feel physically uncomfortable, made you squirm in your seat? I can remember a couple of years ago, so it's in recent memory, I introduced my friend Mike to the zombie films. We stayed over at Danny's, we had a bit of a marathon, watched them all. At that point Survival wasn't out. Diary wasn't out at that point.
So Land had just been released.
Yeah, it was when Land had just hit DVD.
Yeah.
So we got them all, watched them. And Mike said he's not a film enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination. You know, he's not really into horror or zombies or anything like that. When he got to that sequence at the end of Day, after Day had finished, he said that he felt like he'd watched something taboo.
Yeah.
Like, he felt like it should have been one of those films that were banned in the 80s and that you feel bad for watching, like you'd found it under your parents' bed almost, like they didn't want you to watch and you popped it in, because it does have that feel to it. It does feel taboo. The violence, while it's no more extreme than what you'd see in Dawn, it's handled in a lot more grittier way almost. Like you said, it hits harder because it's nasty. You're not seeing cartoon characters being killed. You're seeing what feel like real flawed individuals in what can only be described as the most amount of pain that any person is ever going to feel.
And half of the time feeling like they're getting the just desserts as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like kind of, fair enough, he got torn half and half. Love to say he didn't deserve it. Can't do that.
The thing is though, like, even though most of those military guys were just absolute dicks, you still feel bad for them.
When it really goes
when
wrong.
The shit hits the fan, you're thinking even they didn't fucking deserve that. Like, it is a very nasty ending.
We should probably mention Bud, actually.
But yeah, how can we forget about
We forgot Bud. How can you forget Bud?
Because Bud definitely becomes significant in the following movies.
And there's also the ascent, and one could argue the slide of Romero's theology in the zombies.
Well, there you go, but that's... when we get on to Diary and Survival, I want to address a few fucking problems I have with those movies that relate back to Bud. Bud is an iconic horror character, let's face it.
It really is.
And in terms of Romero's own back catalogue. However, to me, Bud signifies the beginning of the end for Romero's quality in his films.
Yes, I agree completely.
Like, I think in Day, Bud's perfect. Like, wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we'll get on to how it fucks with the others eventually.
We should explain for the uninitiated.
Yeah, go on.
But the whole thing of the scientists in the movie is they've been doing experiments on zombies because time has passed, and basically they're training this zombie called Bud, and have taught him to sort of rediscover his humanity. He can perform basic tasks, and actually Bud kind of...
Bud or Bub?
It's Bud. It is actually.
Is it actually Bud?
Yeah,
I've always called him Bub.
No,
sure
it's Bud. It's definitely Bud. There's
It's definitely Bud.
I'll bet valuable parts of my anatomy, actually not my anatomy, my wife's anatomy, to the fact.
A bit rapey.
a little bit. But you are here, so.
Can I say, this just took a nosedive, didn't it? Anyway, back to Bud or Bub. It's Bub. I'm sure it's Bub. I can see the creepy scientist who looks like Father Christmas saying Bub.
Okay, let's check.
It won't be on there.
God damn it.
I can't believe it's our favourite one, we can't remember the name.
Anyway, the character is a trained zombie, and as such, he becomes the hero, but with the way that's dealt with, for two reasons: A, it's performed excellently by the guy who plays him, and B, in the timeline of the movie, a lot of time has passed in the outbreaks. You can believe that, given enough time, they could be trained.
Yeah.
You do buy it as an audience member.
You do, seriously,
Yeah.
because as we said, like, it is set 6 to 8 months after the outbreak, and you can imagine that is pretty much enough time for somebody who's got the smarts to try and basically house train a zombie. Yeah, but then that's going to lead on to the problems I have with the remaining movies.
Which we both have, in fairness.
Yeah, which we both have. And I know that, let's just get this right out of the way now, with Survival, we're going to have very differing opinions.
Yeah,
and
we're on the same page with this one, with the other ones,
hang on,
not so much.
No, go on, Bev, come on, chime in.
No, yeah, Jack's right.
Bub.
Is it Bub?
I fucking knew it was Bub. You're getting confused with the remake of Day.
Yes.
He's bored
yes, I am.
in the remake.
Well, I bet valuable parts of my wife's anatomy and Lost.
Right, Bev, shall you and I just, go out there then and just rein it in.
Oh dear. Well, anyway, on to God damn it. On to editions. I'd like to recommend editions to buy. I would say, because I always just, plug hard for these guys. I don't work for them. If you can get the Arrow Films edition, it's so good. It's better than the US Stars edition on Blu-ray. It's a better transfer, and again, these guys, if they can get the extras on, they can do. You've got all the extras ported over from the original 2-disc DVD that was released a few years ago. You get DVD. You even get a comic that explains Bub's backstory. It's beautifully presented, beautifully packed. Just get this edition, absolutely.
It is a pretty shit hot edition, and
it really is.
Whereas Dawn had an Arrow release, but I think the 4-disc American Ultimate Edition was slightly ahead of the curve with that one. I mean, I've got both, so but definitely with Day,
they've gone the extra mile on that one. Yeah,
it is definitely worth picking up on Arrow. Blu-ray release? Oh, tripping over my words, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, thoughts on Daylight, final thoughts. Basically, as I said, it's my favourite Romero film, although I wholeheartedly accept that Dawn is probably his legitimate best. And if I had to give it a star rating, I'd say 5, right off the bat. I absolutely love it.
I'd have to concur with Jack on this movie. 5 out of 5. It is brilliant. It is the one which, for me, has the most fully formed purity of Romero's vision of what he was trying to get to. The only thing I would say, Day of the Dead, not a film to introduce noobs to the genre. Definitely not.
I don't know. Oh well, I was going to say I introduced Mike on it, but we had a marathon night, dawn, day. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. If you liked Night and Dawn and you've heard bad things about Day, because it does have somewhat of a stigma with it.
Yeah, it really does.
So don't ignore it because it is fantastic. So definitely go out and check out Day.
Highly recommended by both of us.